Nvidia reports earnings on November 20th, and it's expected to be a strong report, but a strong report probably isn't good enough. It has to be another out-of-this-world report because it is an out-of-this-world stock. It's around $3.5 trillion market capitalization, which is just wild. And there's a possible fly in the ointment. SuperMicro Computer provides many of its racks and servers, and SuperMicro Computer has had trouble with their books. We don't know whether to believe SuperMicro Computer's books. Their auditor quit on them because things were so out of line. And they've been given a deadline of Monday to provide a report. Otherwise, they risk being delisted. So things are very unstable with SuperMicro Computer. They've got to work their way out of a fix. And what happens Monday will be of critical importance. And being that they make the server racks for Nvidia's Blackwell chip, that's a major problem. But before we go into that further, let's be reminded why we love Nvidia. It used to be Moore's Law that computers doubled in power about every 2 years or so. And now Jensen Huang is saying that the power of his chips goes according to Moore's Law squared. They exponentially improve.
When unsupervised learning came along, which allowed us to use language models, to create language models which codify human prior knowledge, using that to now learn multimodal data, from that point forward, the scale was going to be exponential. Now, for everybody here, this is an extraordinary time because in no time in history has computer technology not only moved faster than Moore's Law. I mean, Moore's Law, for example, over the course of a decade would be about 100x. We are probably advancing at somewhere near 100.
That was our other neighbor in Hawaii, Gordon Moore.
Oh, is that right?
Great person, great leader,
great person. And so we're at a stage now. We're in an era now where we're moving way faster than Moore's Law, and are arguably easily Moore's Law squared. And the reason for that, of course, is at every single layer, computers went from CPUs to GPUs, from human-engineered software to machine learning software, and now this feedback loop that allows us to create new AIs, and these new AIs are helping us create new computer systems, and these new computer systems are advancing at such incredible rates, which allows us to create even better AI. That feedback, that flywheel is really flying now, and so I think the progress that you're going to have with agents over the next year or two is going to be spectacular and surprising.
Where will Nvidia stock be in 1 year? All eyes are on Nvidia's upcoming earnings. On November 20th, the investing world will get a chance to hear directly from the executive team at the heart of the artificial intelligence boom. There are some critical questions I hope will be answered, like how recent events at SuperMicro will affect the company's ability to ship its newest Blackwell chips on time and keep up with demand. Speaking of Nvidia, CEO Jensen Huang described that demand as insane. The third quarter numbers should show if that demand truly is insane. The sky-high expectations Wall Street has placed on the company mean that the degree of insanity matters. Strong won't cut it at this point. Nvidia needs to continue to grow at a hefty pace or its stock price may start to level off. To do this, the company must execute at an extremely high level, something it has shown it can do time and again. The biggest upcoming test is the rollout of Blackwell, the newest iteration of its flagship AI chip. There are some fabrication issues earlier this summer that Nvidia seems to have ironed out, but now the company faces another challenge. SuperMicro, which has been a critical part of Nvidia's supply chains. SuperMicro is facing mounting allegations of misconduct, and now Nvidia is reportedly looking elsewhere for a partner. That partner might be Dell. Nvidia seems to be getting ahead of this, but it remains to be seen if this has any effect on Blackwell's supply. Exceeding Moore's Law. Moore's Law, the idea that computer processors get roughly twice as fast every 2 years, has long been the guiding principle in Silicon Valley. In recent years, however, the law's longevity has been in question. That's because chip makers were reaching the limit on the number of transistors that could fit into a circuit, the driving force behind Moore's Law. But that may be an outdated paradigm. At least Huang believes it is. Nvidia has introduced the idea of accelerated computing, in which advances in speed and efficiency come from a whole host of factors: networking, algorithms, software, and data center design, rather than the single limiting factor of the number of transistors in a circuit. He recently posited that this may be the age of hyper Moore's Law, where speed doubles or triples every year. It's a big statement. If it holds, the modern AI boom could be even bigger than imagined. It's a big if, though. And remember, CEOs like making bold predictions that don't always come true, sort of reminiscent of Musk. Stock buybacks could boost the price. In August, Nvidia announced its board approved $50 billion in additional stock buybacks after it had already repurchased $15 billion during Q1 and Q2. I'm very interested to see how much capital the company deployed here and if executives will announce a continuation of them. Buybacks are typically great for investors. The caveat here is that since the announcement was made, the market may have already priced this in. If the Q3 numbers show an underwhelming repurchase, Nvidia's share price could slip. A year from now, I'd like to reiterate that the future is impossible to predict. It is easy to get caught up in the excitement around a stock like Nvidia. That being said, all signs point to a successful Blackwell rollout with the release of Rubin, Blackwell's successor, on its heels. I think Nvidia will once again outperform the market and deliver strong returns. I agree with that. And what if SuperMicro gets delisted and is blown out as a supplier? A likely replacement, in fact, the only replacement that more or less fully does what SuperMicro does is Dell computers. Billed as a leading provider of technology solutions, Dell Technologies covers a broad range of connectivity innovations, including storage, networking, cloud computing, and servers. It is also one of the top SuperMicro Computer alternative picks because of the identical focus on arenas like cloud solutions and servers. Servers is the big deal. And for giggles, let's look at the Nvidia chart. And looking at the 1 week chart, and I'm only doing 1 week because we know it's done good in the long run, but it recently took a little bit of a dip, about a 4% dip last week, and almost all of it was on Friday. So is the dip going to continue? The SuperMicro news will be important Monday, and it will affect the price of Nvidia. So I think if SuperMicro doesn't get a report together Monday, the price of Nvidia is going to drop. and the stock market likes to crash on Mondays. So I'm super hyper alert for the market moving down on Monday. No one knows what the market's going to do for sure. But this recent dip of Nvidia, along with SuperMicro Computer's troubles, and its relative strength is only 55, which is very underwhelming for a major stock like Nvidia. And as I'm finishing recording this at 10 p.m. Sunday night, the futures are up on the stock market. On the NASDAQ, they're up 0.6%. So maybe tomorrow is going to be a good day, but it can always reverse. Good luck to you all. Thank you.